Okay, so there's definitely two outstanding things we have to do. Like I mentioned, we have to make sure we reference an actual image inside of our image tag. We also have to add in some custom CSS to limit the width of this big old card. Let's first take care of adding in some images to our project. Now, in general, in an Angular project, there are two different ways we can make use of images. We can either refer to images that are hosted out on some remote server online, or we can include some static image files inside of our project. For this application, we're going to make use of some static image files so that you understand how to include static resources, like say images or sounds, inside of an Angular project. So attached to this lecture, as a resource, you're going to find a little zip file called something like cards004 images.zip. So make sure you pause this video right now, go to the resources attached to this video, and find this little zip file and download it. Once you download this file, go ahead and unzip it. And then inside there, you're going to find three different images. So one is of a tree, one is of mountains, and one is of biking. So these are the three static images that we want to use for our application for each of these different cards. So we need to figure out how to add those images into our project so we can refer to them inside of our HTML files. Okay, so I'm going to flip over to my code editor. Inside of my src directory, we'll find a folder inside of here called assets. Any file that you put inside this assets directory is going to be made available to the rest of your Angular application. So we can put inside of this assets directory things like raw JavaScript files, or images, or audio, or raw CSS files, just about anything that you want to make directly available to your application. So we're going to take our three images and put them into that directory. That will then allow us to directly reference them from the different image tags we put into our application. So to open up that directory, if you're using Visual Studio Code, you can right-click on Assets, and then you'll see something like Reveal in Finder. If you're using Windows, I think the term might be slightly different, but essentially we want to open up that Assets directory inside of a folder explorer. So here's my Assets directory. I'm going to open that folder up. I'm then going to find the images that I just downloaded, and I'm going to drag and drop those three images into the Assets directory. Now that I've moved those images over, I should see them inside the Assets folder inside my code editor. So now that these files are included inside my project, we can refer to them directly from image tags. Or if we were making use of audio elements, audio files, we can create some audio elements. Or if we had some raw JavaScript, we can make script tags and refer to them as well. So to refer to a file inside of our assets directory, in the source property of the image right here, we'll say assets, so that looks at the assets folder, / and then the file that we want to get. So the card that we're working on right now is trying to show the tree card, so we'll get our tree.jpg image in here. So I'll write out inside that image source, tree.jpg. Notice that it's JPEG, not just JPG. So make sure you get the full extension on there. Now if we save this file, we can flip back over to our browser and we'll see a gigantic tree appear. Okay, if we scroll down, we still see the rest of the card. So we've now kind of fixed up issue number one. We can show an actual image or a static image inside of our application, but we still have to add in some custom CSS to limit the width of this card so it doesn't show up quite so large. So quick pause right here, and we'll figure out the CSS side in just a moment.